You know what's wild? This year at the IAA Mobility in Germany, over 50% of all the car exhibitors were not German. They weren't even European. They were all Chinese automakers. BYD, Aito, Xpeng, Omoda, Avatr, you just name it. In all honesty, it felt less like a German car show and more like a Chinese tech showcase. And it got me thinking, is this the beginning of a massive shift in Europe's car industry? Because from what I saw, the old guard, brands like the BMW, the Volkswagen and Mercedes-Benz might be in for a big surprise. Stay tuned because in this video, we're diving into how Chinese automakers are rapidly gaining ground in Europe and why they might soon be the ones setting the pace for the global market. For decades, Europe has been the art of automobile world. German engineering, Italian design, French flair, these were the benchmarks everyone looked up to. But everything changed when the world started moving toward electric vehicles. While Europe was debating policy and catching up with charging infrastructure, China was already building an entire EV ecosystem, factories, battery plants, and high-tech software for cars. Fast forward to today, and that early head start is paying off big time. Now, Chinese car makers aren't just selling cars in China. They are coming to Europe's frontier and they are coming in very strong. So, at the IAA Mobility this year, I honestly didn't expect what I saw. When I walked into the hall, I thought I would be seeing dominance from Volkswagen, from Mercedes-Benz, from BMW showing off their latest EV. Well, BMW showcased their newest iX3, which was like a savior for the show. But instead, it was BYD, it was Xpeng, Aito, Avatr, Omoda, etc. All these brands that I only read about online had some of the biggest and busiest booths at the event. Their design looked modern, their interiors were tech-packed, and the crowd around them constant. Meanwhile, the European brands felt a bit quieter. They were being cautious, showing off concepts instead of production-ready models. It felt like a shift in confidence. The Chinese automakers weren't just guests, they were there to dominate. There are a few big reasons why I think this is happening, and it's not just about low prices. China invested heavily in battery technology. Companies like CATL lead the world in EV batteries, and they even supply many European brands too. That means Chinese automakers have access to longer range, faster charging, and even lower cost. Plus, their software and smart systems are way ahead. Voice controls, AI-based driving features, seamless infotainment, stuff that feels more modern. Let's be real, most European EVs are expensive. A BYD sale offers Tesla Model 3 performance for several thousand euros less. And when you sit inside, it doesn't feel cheap, it feels premium. So for an average buyer in Europe, the question becomes very simple. Why do I need to pay more? Chinese brands move very fast. They can design, they can test, and they can launch new models in months, not even years. They are also setting up factories in Europe, like the BYD in Hungary, to avoid tariffs and even get closer to their new customers. Meanwhile, legacy automakers are still wrestling with transition plans and supply chains. Now, this is not getting unnoticed. The European Commission has already launched an investigation into whether Chinese EVs are getting unfair subsidies. Executives at companies like Volkswagen and Stellantis have warned that Europe needs to step up innovation or risk losing market share very fast. And there's a lot at stake. Thousands of jobs, decades of reputation, and Europe's position as an auto leader. So what happened next? We might see Chinese brands start building cars directly in Europe, which could even make them even harder to compete with. European brands will have to innovate very fast, not just in engineering, but in pricing, in design, and also in user experience. And who knows, we might even see more collaborations or even joint ventures between Chinese and European companies in the coming years. Either way, one thing is crystal clear. The automotive game has changed. For the very first time, it feels like Europe isn't leading the race. It's just trying to play a catch-up. So I'm curious, if you had the chance to buy a Chinese EV, would you consider buying it? Let me know in the comment section. I read all of them and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoy videos like this, breaking down what's really happening in the world of cars and mobility, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one.